did you see the Spot and Kristen Polly talk on the behind the velvet soap?
I caught, I would say about three-quarters of it. Um, I did. I completely even forgot it existed until you just mentioned it right now.
Oh, I didn't forget. That was some deep stuff, bro.
What are some thoughts you have on it? Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and chop it up a little bit.
I don't know where to start. There was a
I've never
lot.
heard Kukui speechless before.
Well, bro, I don't know. The main thing is that did you hear her say that she has outer course instead of intercourse?
Doug, there was and Spot, if you're listening, please listen to this with all due respect because
Yes.
Doug, like one thing that Kristen said was a little weird to me, where she said somebody mentioned it, or no, Spot was actually the one who mentioned it. He mentioned something about for him, his hookups are more sexual and
Uh-huh.
hers are more emotional. And
Spot,
Kristen,
no, Spot. That's what Spot said, and she corrected him, right?
yeah, and she said hers are more intellectual. All
What
right,
the fuck
make
are they studying trigonometry or what?
yeah, even trigonometry, right? They're trimming some
Bush.
doing something. They're trimming something, dog. But I didn't get. I was like, what do you mean? Are you trying to sound like an intellectual? Are you trying to sound
Well,
like
and correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't like 5 or 10 seconds later she called someone a dodo, and
yeah,
like those
her
two things.
lovers? Or
That,
her and Spot's first hookups. She was like, yeah, we were so this and that, and it turned out they were both dodos.
well,
But you know what?
and forgive me, Spot. It threw me off because it seemed like she tried really hard to let the whole audience who was watching know that she was smart, and then that was the next choice of words.
I think, and this is only an observation, right? But
Obvious for observation.
what I took from it was I kind of felt like she wanted to call Spot's girl, his ex or whatever, a dodo, but she just threw in her man too because she was like, "Yeah, we realized they were both dodos," and she like kind of looked at Spot as like, "Right? Like, do you
Well,
agree with me, Christian?"
but have some self awareness because if you've listened to anything Spots ever said about her, he didn't really compliment her smarts.
Mm-hmm.
He said she was hot.
Yeah. And even Cavino and Rich had mentioned they had seen pictures of her. They're like, yeah, she was hella attractive, you know?
Yeah, I don't think Spot really cares if she graduated from Yale.
Yeah, you're gonna make me choke on my drink right here. Really, Doug. Like, and you know what? That really is. It's so funny because you think about like chicks and dudes and the difference, Doug. Like when you think about it, is like the first thing a chick's friend might ask her is like, "Hey, what does he do?"
Right.
First thing your fucking
Right.
dude, your homie's
Your
gonna ask
buddy,
you,
no.
"Hey, how does she look?" Right?
And
You
then
don't care if she has a job, if she is couch surfing. How
and then
does she look?
and then what do you say next? Did you get it yet? And was
Yeah.
it good? Those
Yeah.
are the first three. How does she look? Did
Uh,
you get it yet? And was it good?
and then of course it was, right? You know,
Right.
oh man, yeah, no, 100%, 100%.
And it's funny because like it's not hard to figure dudes out for the most part. If you're secure with yourself and you got a good career and you got your shit going, you really don't care what these chicks got going on. I mean, maybe if you're like really into one and then you want to start looking to the future because you've kicked it 15 times and you kind of like her now, you know what I'm saying? But the
Yeah.
first time, you're not thinking about that, bro.
No, Doug, and then somebody in the chat, I swear, I'm leaning more towards the snarls, as you call them, because, Doug, really, there was somebody in the chat that was like, it wasn't during this particular Behind the Velvet Rope, it was during the show. And somebody mentioned, or maybe it could have been because they were mentioning, actually, I think it was on the Behind the Velvet Rope.
They
They were
mention a
mentioning,
lot, bro.
they were mentioning somebody in the chat or whatever was like, well, isn't hooking up with no purpose leading them on or something? Because they
Not
had
if you
said,
tell them that.
yeah, and that's the thing. They had said, we're letting these people know up front. So how are you leading them on if you're telling them
Mm,
up front,
I,
hey, listen, I
you
have a
know
wife
what?
back home. This is whatever, and they're cool with it. Okay.
It's all good until someone falls in love, bro. Boy, I was a one of them app dating madmen there for a minute, and it's all good. And I would put that on there, like that would be in the title. I'm just here to hang out. right? No long-term bullshit,
App
not looking
dating
for the one.
madman.
Yeah, oh bro,
Madman.
I was active. But with that being said though, I had it in my statement. Like I was like, hey, I'm just here to hang out and see if we click, right? And that's
Yeah.
it. And that's a pretty vague statement. But with that being said, it's all good. And I would tell people, yeah, I'm not really looking for a girlfriend, or I'm just trying to hang out, and you just seem like good people. So I like to hang out with you. You know what I mean? And that's all good and fucking dandy till someone gets sprung.
Yeah. No, 100%.
You know?
And that's where I get a little nervous when it comes to their lifestyle. And you know what? If it's working for them for the moment, cool. But
Right.
just somebody had mentioned in the chat, they were like, what happens if somebody falls in love? And Spot was like, oh, we don't let it get there.
Not yet.
You don't let
And
it.
I hope it doesn't. And I say this, if Spot's listening, I hope to God this works out and you guys are in your 90s still banging other people. That'd be awesome. I'm rooting for you, bro. I really am, Slugger. I'm rooting for you. I don't know. I'm a little scared too.
But Doug, to say that we don't let it get there, that's a very odd statement, because what do you mean you don't let it get there? How do you not let yourself get there? And I could even understand, like, say somebody, a friend of yours that you know, or you're at the workplace or something. But dog, people that you're hooking up with and like straight up they're slobbing on your knob and you're freaking, eating them, cookies like, it's Christmas morning. And
Yep.
and it's just dog, like you can tell yourself, oh, I'm not gonna let it get there. Dog, if I'm freaking face
It's
deep
it
in
sounds
some
like he was
freaking
already
cheeks,
almost
and
there, bro.
that, I don't know if you can say we don't let it get there.
He was already
Again,
close, bro, in the last one. If you listen to it, you could hear it in his voice, like he had to pull away.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you're doing all the things that you do with somebody that you care about, that you eventually don't really care if it gets there or not, but you're saying you're not going to let it go there. So all the hanging out, right? The intimacy, everything, and you're, oh, but we don't let it get there. I don't get it. I don't
I,
get it. I mean, I guess
I'm
I'm not
rooting for
supposed to get
you.
it, but still, it's very interesting, to say the least.
I'm rooting for you, player. But anyone that's ever been through a breakup realizes that whether you did the breaking up or someone broke up with your ass, is that in a relationship it takes two. And if one of you still wants to be there, but the other one of you don't, it don't work. You still break up. And so
Yeah.
with two different people playing the game of Flavor Flav, looking for love, the flavor, what is it? The flavor of love, bro? Looking
The
for love.
flavor of love, that's what it was, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that there's two opportunities from two different people who are seeing multiple people to find someone they might just like just a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Who knows?
I
It's
don't
tough.
know.
It's
I
not
don't know.
bulletproof. I'll just say it's not bulletproof. I'm rooting for them and I hope it works, like I said, until they're in their 90s. But if we're being completely honest, you're playing with fire a little bit. That's my opinion. Hey, I mean, I root for him. I'm kind of jealous, to be honest. That's pretty dope. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to go bang dudes, but the banging chicks part's pretty cool.
I don't know. Maybe not just yet, but I don't know. You still have a lot of life left, and we never know. You might wake up tomorrow and you might be like, hey, I don't know. Now we're gonna be the after show but duders or something. I don't know. Maybe you never know.
Bro, we do know some things.
uh no, what did I'm Key say? He said something, and this was like a few weeks ago now, when Spot first had his discussion, and he was like, oh, El Cucuy is gonna have a field day with this one or something. And I was like, are you serious? I was like
Nah,
this dude.
I root for Spot, bro.
No, but when it comes to the type of activities, he was, what was it? I'd have to look it up. But I was like, he doesn't even allow dudes in his porn that he watches.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's what though. At the end of the day, that's you just said it. That's what I watch.
yeah,
Spot can watch whatever Spot wants to watch. I don't want to watch what Spot wants to watch, and I don't want to make out with dudes and slob on pole. But if he wants to, that's his business, bro. I'm not Judy Wapner or what's the or Judge Judy Wapner or
I like
Judge
Million.
Joe Brown, bro. I'm not a judge. I'm not a judge. I just know what's right for me and what's not right for me. But hey, we love Spot.
100%.
We root for Spot. We love Spot, and we hope it works out.
I had a friend of mine hit me up, and he was like,
Shout
dude,
out I am Key.
yeah. He was like, my buddy hit me up and he was like, dude, he was like, I feel exactly like they feel about Gabriel Iglesias. And I refuse to call him Fluffy. I hate that name. I hate that he's taken ownership of it, because when I was young and I first started listening to him back in the day, that was just one of his jokes where he talks about the different degrees of fat. You're like fat, hefty, fluffy.
Right, I remember that.
You remember damn and all that?
Damn.
Yeah. And I think about that and I'm like, to me, that is so like, dog, you know me, I like some corny stuff, right? But I'm just like, that
Yes,
is
you
like,
do.
that is the ultimate corny. Like, you go by Fluffy now, dude. Like, for real? Like, you're Fluffy? You're Fluffy? Okay. Okay. Like, to me, that's just like, oh, the ultimate cringy, corny shit ever. I know he's not for everybody. Cavino and Rich were mentioning how they don't really dig him. I understand that. I know
I don't anymore.
he's super, you don't what, dig him?
I mean, I don't dislike him, and I'm not gonna like change the channel.
Yeah.
But his little weird laugh and shit kind of gets on my nerves. Like it irritates the dog shit out of me. And he tries too hard, bro. He thinks he's cool. He's famous, bro. He is. I mean, you know, he's a famous comedian, and lots of people find him funny, and at times I do too.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it seems like he tries way too fucking hard, and that little fake ass laugh is irritating as shit. And you're right, bro. You don't get to call yourself Fluffy.
One of the cringiest things, like you mentioned, is that laugh. It's so annoying to me. And I'm like,
clown laugh.
It's so like, I feel like it's, I don't want to say forced, but I don't like it. I just don't like it. It's not for me. I dig him and I've been following him for years. I was talking to my buddy, Luis, and I told him I've been listening to him since basically I found George Lopez in like 2009, because they were both on a show called Que Locos.
Oh, you didn't find Lopez till 9?
2000, I mean, 99.
Oh, I was like, bro, I was 2009.
No.
He'd already been canceled a couple times.
No, I saw him actually in San Diego at the Cox Center or Cox Theater, I believe. And that was probably 07, maybe. So I was already a fan of him. I've been a fan, like I told you, we started watching, my family as a whole. I mean, we started watching Que Locos. They had Gabriel Iglesias, and he was at the time like 22, maybe, because he's in his early 40s and early to mid 40s. And at the time he was super young. So he was in his early 20s. George Lopez was pretty like, you know, getting pretty established in comedy. But this was, I think, before right now, the Comedy City. But George Lopez, Gabriel Iglesias, there was a guy, there's people that people never have heard of that were so damn funny. Right. There was a guy named Ernie G, Carlos Oscar, a dude named Jeff Garcia, Felipe Esparza. What I like about Felipe, what I like about Gabriel Iglesias is, like I said, I could watch him with my mom. I can also watch him with my daughter. My daughter's been getting into stand-up comedy. She loves Brad Williams. That's her favorite right now.
Who's Brad Williams?
He's a little person. Gabriel Iglesias, I know, is a safe bet. That's why, like, I dig him. I know he's corny. I know he's not for everybody. A lot of people say, hey, he's just not for me. And I see that 100%. He's super commercial. He's super corny. And that's actually one thing that my buddy hit me up with. He was like, I'm surprised that Rich doesn't dig him, because Rich digs corn 100%. And I'm not talking about the band. I'm talking about corny shit. And that's right up Rich's alley.
Not elotes or what, with the tahini, the mayonesa, and the queso?
Cone, nah, no, and I
lime
just
juice.
But yeah, Gabriel Iglesias. I'm actually surprised that you dig him as much as you're saying you do.
I didn't say I dig him. I know him. I've seen his work. I tried to watch.
Well,
you
said
show.
You used to like him, but not as much anymore, right?
He's all right. I mean, it's not like.
But see, that's what I'm saying. That's what's surprising to me. I thought right off the bat, you were gonna have like a Covino approach where you're like,
I can't
fuck
say he's
that.
not funny at all, but he's corny as fuck. So to me, it's
Yeah.
like, bro, we live in. So okay, let me explain myself. He's not entirely corny, but he is corny. But in the fucking world and time that we live in with the Hulus and the Netflixes and the Amazon Primes
Mm-hmm.
and the Showtime, Stars, HBO Max, why do I want to watch shit that doesn't really captivate my attention all the way? And he just don't do it. Like
Yeah.
some of the shit, like if I was at your house and you were watching them because that's what you like, well, that looks like that's what we're watching, and I'll get some laughs out of it, right?
Yeah.
But if you come to my house, I'm not putting them on. But hey, the fellows were talking about TV's biggest couples. Did you catch that or what?
I don't know. Go ahead, enlighten me.
I don't remember all of it, but I just remember they were talking. They were pointing out like power couples, like TV's couples. What do you think? Who's your biggest couples that you remember on TV
Hmm.
in your generation,
In my generation,
or that you remember seeing on TV?
I would say probably the first. Oh, I have probably the corniest one ever, the Pink Ranger and the Red Ranger. If I'm going back to the first ones I remember,
Narrated by Gabriel Iglesias or what?
narrated by Gabriel Iglesias, it was super corny. No, but as far as like shows we watched, I would say Zach and Kelly, Saved by the Bell
Okay,
would probably be
they said that one.
that would probably be the biggest one for me. The other quote unquote power couple, I would say, would be Corey and Topanga, Boy Meets World. Definitely, I think that would be a good one. Maybe Will and Lisa on Fresh Prince.
What?
Nia Long? You don't remember them together?
That's your power couple?
They were I mean, maybe it's because I thought Nia Long was bad as fuck.
Oh, she is bad.
But yeah, I'm thinking of all the couples from when I was a kid. But I would say probably the top two would be Corey and Topanga and Zach and Kelly. Those would probably be by far the two biggest ones that I remember from my childhood.
Bro, what about George and Wheezy?
From my childhood,
Well,
dog?
just you seen them on TV, right? As a child?
Actually, you know what? I was watching the Jeffersons recently with my mom and my sister. So
Oh,
we got back into that shit, dog, and we started it from the pilot. And it is
shit.
so crazy because in the pilot, George is like 42 or something.
Uh-huh.
Dog, and he looked exactly like he did when he died when he was like 80.
Oh
You know?
shit.
Looked exact. It's so crazy. And you're like, wait, Wheezy is like 54 or something. She looks like she's in her 70s. But no, definitely. So another power couple, definitely.
What about Sookie Stackhouse and Bill Compton?
I know that's from what, True Blood, but I never watched it.
What about Al and Peggy Bundy?
That was a little before my time though. I never really watched it, to be honest.
Darcy and Jefferson?
I don't even know what that is.
That was on Married with Children. What about Dexter and Hannah?
That was good. I don't know if I would call them a power couple.
They take people out. That's power.
I get it, but I'm saying as far as like in the history of television, give me a couple of couples like you mentioned.
Okay, bro. Mike and Molly. Mike and Molly. Okay.
Like
Are
you mentioned,
happy?
no, you mentioned Al Bundy and Peggy. That's I feel like boom. There's a top five right there. You know, Zach and Kelly we mentioned. I think that's a top five easily. Dexter and his wife. I like it, and I love Dexter. I love Dexter. Like that little kid loves Cone. I don't know though if it could make even a top 10.
Really?
Hit me with another one. What do you got? What about Carl Winslow and Harriet? They were a power couple.
What about Urkel and fucking what's her name?
Laura.
Laura.
Actually, you know who I thought was so bad and it was so tragic. She died so
Tony
young.
and Angela?
No, Doug, freaking the girl that Urkel actually dated for most of the series. Myra. Dog, she was so bad when I was young. I was like, give me that 2 foot tall chocolate. You know, she was bad and she was little. I was like, remember we had the conversation about the legs? Dog, she couldn't have been over. She couldn't have been over 5 foot. She was so bad. Hey, here's a fun fact about Family Matters. Do you know who Waldo is married to in real life? Do you remember Laura's best friend, Maxine?
If I've seen the show, not off the top of my head.
Well, she was also, Maxine played Punky Brewster's best friend.
Oh, I remember her.
That's who Waldo's married to.
Yeah, Waldy. Damn, you spitting facts.
Spitting facts. Talk,
Bruh.
people are over here, Elon Musk is creating new worlds underground that are going to take us from LA to New York in 10 minutes. And I'm over here telling you about who Waldo is married to in real
It's all
life.
right, bro. Hey, we need to know that more. What can I say?
Different strokes, Doug.
Well, you're like Al B. Hood rat shit.
Exactly. Oh man, you got me, Doug. Don't get me started on '90s television. I'll be here all day with facts. And do you remember when Tevin Campbell came to Ashley Banks's first or like
Oh
13th
yeah.
birthday?
Yep.
Dang, Ashley was one when she was a little bit older. She was like maybe like 16, and I was like 14 or 13. I thought Tatiana Ali was the shit, dog.
You ever poster?
No, I didn't. But then there's that episode where she starts singing.
Tell me why you're playing with my mind, boy.
Around that time, I was like little, like 12-year-old, 13-year-old me was like, oh shit.
With the
That's
raging fucking SPB or what?
Yeah, that it's gonna happen. Yeah. I went through a phase, dog, where I just dig nothing but black chicks. I was like, there is Michelle from freaking Destiny's Child, Ashley Banks, Myra from freaking Family Matters. The list goes on and on.
What about Stacey Dash?
Yeah, from Clueless.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. See, Doug? Doug, a phrase, and I don't know if it's politically incorrect, but have you heard the phrase "redbone"?
Of course.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I haven't heard people use it so freely. That's why I don't know if it's a like a derogatory term.
I hear brothers using it. I don't hear a lot of other people using it.
Well, that's I was listening to Theo Vaughn the other day, and on his most recent podcast, he was telling a story, and he's like, "There we are." He's like, and then this red bone shows up, and I was like, "Oh, people could just drop it like that." I didn't know. I've never really used it because I don't know if it's a bad word,
Well, my favorite Theo is Huxtable, and I believe we got the same birthday.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
Dang! Shout out to Theo Huxtable and Vaughn and Manti Theo.
No, not that guy. Take that one back.
Not the doggy.
Oh no, yeah. Manti Theo. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Manti Teo.
No, not Tail. Theo, the doggy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, shout out Covino and his pup.
Oh man.
Did you fucking hear that Rich was always at his grandparents every weekend?
I missed that, dog. I can't even pretend like I heard it. I missed that completely. What's up?
Did you ever have like a relatives? I don't know. I didn't live close to all my family, so I was always with the homies. Was your family tight? Were you at like a family member's house all the time?
Yeah and no. Like we were at like my grandparents' house like pretty often.
No.
But not like it. My parents weren't the ones that were gonna drop me off for the weekend or drop us off for even like half a day or something, Doug. Like if we were there, it's because like we were all visiting as a family, and maybe my parents would like take a run to Walmart or something while we were there, but it was never like how Rich describes, and I've heard him describe it in the past, where he was like, well, it's not like it used to be. We used to get dropped off for weeks at a time.
Well, but he doesn't have high praises about Marianne either, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. And I didn't. I was with the homies all the time. Like my grandma, she lived like 45 minutes away. We go see her once every couple of months or whatever. And like you said, we'd hang out, go to Sizzlers, maybe hit up Kmart or Walmart or some stupid shit. You know what I mean? And that's that. That's the end of that. Oh, brother, Blue Light Special.
Kmart still exist?
I don't think so.
I wanted to talk to you about a term that Covino mentioned. He was at a party, and this was the party where everybody welcomed him because they were like, oh, Covino's half Italian, half Mexican.
Right.
And somebody's wife was as well, right? And or actually, I think
That's the Fox Sports party, right?
Yeah. So she was half German.
The one that Spot didn't get invited to?
Yes, that one.
Okay, just checking.
The one that started everything. This girl's half German and half Mexican, and she said that people call her a Beaner Schnitzel. And Covino started cracking up, and he said he had never heard that term.
I haven't either.
You had never heard that term?
Bro, because you have to be hella white and you have to have a wiener schnitzel. Like a lot of people don't even know what the fuck that is.
Dog, I've been hearing that term Beaner Schnitzel for 10 years.
I've never heard it until that on the show.
And I don't know. I don't think it's ever been referring to somebody. I have a homie that used to work at Wiener Schnitzel.
Okay.
And I think like just like being dumbasses and joking and being like Wiener Schnitzel, more like Beaner Schnitzel or whatever. Just, like that's the extent of it. But it was funny because when Cavino said he never heard that, I was like, really? I was like, my homie that used to work there, and like when I remember that joke,
Yeah.
he's now been removed from that job, and he's almost a nurse practitioner.
And I've heard a lot of shit. I really have, but I never heard that one.
Is there anything else that like you've ever heard or said or created or anything that is in the same boat or anything?
A new one I'm hearing, because there's a lot of field workers out here, and a lot of them don't have papers, right?
Mhm.
They're out there working or whatnot. And so there's a couple of companies actually out here, and I think they actually employ them. They figure out however they do it. I'm not gonna put no one on blast, so we'll leave it at that. But when they put them in the weed business and they're bringing workers, 50, 100 at a time to help weed farms out. I've heard them referred to as trimmigrants. I have. I don't know if that's politically correct or not.
I don't think that is. I think that's probably more probably worse than Redbone. I think that might be pretty bad. I mean,
yeah, that's not good. You'll never hear me call nobody no shit like that. But
yeah.
I've heard it. I've definitely heard the terminology.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, no, definitely something. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else that would be in that same boat as Beaner Schnitzel.
What about instead of White Castle, it's White Cracker?
I never heard that.
Oh, me neither, but it sounded good.
Oh, it did. It did. And do you guys have White Castle in California?
I know where I'm at.
Me neither.
Ain't no one out here. We supersize shit out here. We don't want them little tiny ass burgers.
Dog, the only time I've ever seen that is like at Fry's or Albertsons. They'll have them in like the freezer section, and it's like
I fuck with those.
6 of them like frozen.
I cooked the whole box.
For real, I've never bought them. I was looking at them. I'm like, huh.
They're not. They're not bad. If you get the cheeseburger ones, they're not that. I mean, throw them in the microwave for a minute and they're ready, and they're little snackies. But it ain't a meal. It's not a burger.
That's so crazy that you mentioned that. When you said throw them in the microwave like that, I had a flashback to like, man, more than 15 years ago. Because dog, I remember when you could buy like a normal size hamburger in a package like that from like Walmart
in a box.
Yeah, and you would just throw it in the microwave.
Yeah. We sold those at Food Max all day long, bro.
I can't, dog. I remember those. I completely forgot like they even existed.
They have hamburgers, cheeseburgers, and like chicken sandwiches.
Dog, they even had like a certain taste to them. Like I'm thinking about them right now, and I could like remember.
Yeah, because it's good, but it's way different.
It's way different. It's almost like everything about it tastes fake.
I wonder how the bitches will be in the air fryer.
Oh, throw that back. Oh, that's a throwback.
With some frozen rally fries.
Doug, stop it.
I'm cheaping. That's a stoner's dream. Now you're talking my language.
I'm gonna do that one day, Doug. My sister's got a dope ass air fryer. I'm gonna show up to her pad one day with just a gang of those frozen burgers and some Rally's fries. And
some Rally's, bro. Now you're speaking my slanguage.
It's language. I like that. I've never heard that either.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you make that up, or is that a real thing?
No, I made it up.
Doug, that's why I like doing
unless I heard it somewhere and it stuck. I don't know. That could happen too.
I feel like Kukui's always dropping knowledge. There's always good points you're making. Like I feel like one of the best points you made last week is something that I never even thought of when you were talking about Rich's addiction to softball. And you're like, unless this dude is throwing up pot flies himself at 2 a.m., is it really an addiction? And I was like, that is like the greatest point, dog. I've listened to the show since we recorded it last week. And I was just like, that Kukui. That
Well,
Kukui.
hey, how many softball YouTube videos is he watching? Is he studying?
Exactly.
Is he doing a scouting report on the opposing team? Like, how deep does his obsession that he supposedly has go?
Hey, you know
Right?
what? I need Spot to upload all of Rich's little doodles that he does during the show. If
Right.
he's drawing softballs and bats, then I might believe
I might buy in, but I don't think he is. I think he just wants a hot take.
Can you imagine though, Doc? Like Covino's like, yeah, so I got to drop off Melody, and then you cut to Rich, and he's like drawing a softball.
And then he's doing like the bat with the softballs on the side.
Oh,
And then on top, like it's going in, he draws the mitt.
Oh, that's so funny. It's so stupid, Doug. Oh my
Now,
god.
but see, that would be obsessed with softball.
That it would be. That would be definitely.
Just because he doesn't want to be home
word,
at dinner time and put the kids to bed and feed them doesn't mean he's trying to get out of daddy duty. That's what he's trying to do.
He's writing the word softball on his little legal pad as Covino and Spot are talking. Softball.
In bubble letters, and he's drawing softball in blocks, and he's making it 3D with shadows.
Making it with shadows. Why did I picture it like that too, Doug? I pictured it as soon as you said that. I was picturing bubble letters, and then I was like, wait, but you got to have it at an angle. You got and then you said with shadows. That 100%.
I challenge that dick to tell me who won the last year's softball NCAA championship. Who was the MVP? I'm just saying, bro.
You're not obsessed. It's just like you're not obsessed with the porn star unless you're in the comments trying to find her name, you know?
Does he have one bat or does he have 8? How many mitts does he got? Does he at least have a neon softball that he throws to himself at 2 a.m. under the streetlight?
Doug, something I feel like we all did in the 90s was play softball, and another thing we did was watch Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, bro, have you been watching the new one?
Beavis and Butthead, Doug.
Oh my god,
Doug, they tried to come back like maybe 5 years ago, and it just wasn't funny.
Motherfuckers are back now.
Dog, these dudes are so back. They are back 100% because
it's better than the movie.
Definitely. But you know what though? To their credit, the first movie wasn't as good as the TV show as well.
I'm gonna have to hard disagree with that one.
You think it was better than the actual show?
I Am the Great Cornholio will go down as the greatest TV line in history.
That was from the show. That wasn't just from the movie.
No, that was on the movie when he fucking took all those pills and he's walking around. I am the Great Cornholio. Give me from my bungalow. Give me from my bungalow, bro. That was one of my top 10 movie scenes, period, of all time. That shit was so funny. I could watch this shit right now.
All right. You might have me. I'm not trying to throw in the towel. Okay. What year did the movie come out?
90 something, right? 97.
I think it came out in 97. So 96. Let me see. I was 10, 9. I was 8 years old. Okay, so maybe I've maybe seen the movie a couple of times since. Maybe my 8-year-old perspective is a little wrong. So it could be that. Because
go back and watch it now.
I don't remember. Yeah, I might have to because I don't remember the movie being as funny as the show.
Oh,
I remember the show being fucking, grabbing my side, fucking, it's hurting. I'm laughing so hard. I don't remember. And I actually went to the movie theater and I saw it.
Yeah, I seen it in the movie theater too.
Yeah. And so I'm thinking, I'm like, I didn't dig it that much, but who knows? I don't know.
Hey, I'll say this. Covino, when they were talking about the movie, remember when the movie came out and they were talking about it on the show, that they thought, I think Rich even said it, that he thought they could have been a little more controversial. I think Rich said that he thought they didn't catch up, that they picked up where they left off, but now where they left off then isn't really that offensive. Oh, on this TV show, they got it good. It was great.
Yeah. And the thing is, Doug, is that the show is so funny now. They don't have to be like super offensive. I feel like back in the day, they were more offensive for the time, right? For the time, it was out there. It was crazy. Now, them watching people doing that, what is it, ASMR or whatever?
Yeah.
Shit.
I don't know if you ever talk any louder. So I got a question though. So which ones do you like better? Do you like the older Beavis and Butthead, or do you like because they had a couple versions of those little? I watched all like 20 whatever episodes when I was sick the last 2 days. That's all I did was watch Beavis and Butthead.
Oh,
so have you seen the older ones yet?
What do you mean the older ones? Like the original show?
No, they on this little series that's on right now that I just watched, they have out of the 29 skits or 28 that are out, there's 4 or 5 where they're like 45-year-old Butthead.
No,
There's
I.
one. There's one where Beavis was like his
Oh, you're saying
caretaker.
when they're older.
Yeah, but
No.
they're in these skits. Like
Yeah.
they go, okay, so did you watch the second movie where they go like to the alien world or
Yeah.
whatever? Okay, so they go back to that scene and then somehow they teleport to like older Beavis and Butthead. And so Butthead's all fat, Beavis is all tweaker looking. Oh, bro, they're great. Oh yeah, you got to watch those Beavis. Oh, it was great. I'm not even going to ruin it or spoil it for you, but this shit's fucking dope. I'm going to
Yeah.
watch the whole shit again.
No, Doug. I haven't watched it like that. I've seen bits and pieces. I've seen a couple of episodes. I watched the movie, but I haven't watched it all the way through like that.
Oh,
I need to,
oh,
man.
bro, they're only and what's dope about them is each little. It's only like 11 minutes.
Oh,
So
really?
each
They're
yeah
not full on like
no
30-minute episodes.
some are like 8. One was 12 minutes and one's like 11. And like Cavino said, like they're making fun of fucking like TikTok and YouTube videos too, not just music videos. Oh, it's awesome. I watched them all. They're all funny.
That's awesome. And you know what? That's one of the advantages of these streaming platforms. They
Cody,
don't need a 22-minute episode because
no,
they need, 7 minutes of commercials or whatever. They can have an 8-minute episode. And dog,
they're better that way.
I, as well as everybody on earth, would rather take a funny ass 8-minute episode than a mediocre 30-minute episode, right?
Bro, we're in the meat and potatoes society. We want the meat and potatoes all the time now. We don't want your ranch dip before, even chips and salsa, unless you got some killer guac, that shit's burnt. Just bring me the fucking tacos, right? Bring me the shit. Like, I think we're in a society where we don't want fluff. Where we're instant, everything's at your fingertip. And what was cool about these episodes is they didn't have to drag them on. And like Beavis almost scored. There's one where he almost could have scored.
Doug, did you hear when they talked about having two wieners?
Yeah, bro, I sent you the video.
Oh, okay, never
He's like,
mind.
but I need an extra schlong. If I have 2 chicks with 2 wieners, then I would need a third schlong to beat my meat, to spate my monkey. Right? Isn't that what he said?
Doug, this is why, Doug, I feel like
Huh.
we're different than our parents. I can't imagine my dad laughing this hard at Beavis and Butthead talking about having two wieners.
Bro,
We are
it-
just loving it at even in our grown man age.
bro, it's because what he said, it was like, I think Bud had asked him, he goes, well, what if you were just getting a girl? He's like, well, then I need an extra schlong. And he's like, but why, Beavis? He's like, that way I can beat my meat. And then it's like, so Beavis, you always have to beat your meat. And he's like, well, yeah, spank my monkey. I don't know. It was silly, corny. Like, you know why I think it's funny? I'm gonna break it down. Check it out. Because it's so unrealistic.
Yeah.
Right? You got the stresses of the world out there. You got your lady, your family, your kid, your job. Your friend might owe you some money, whatever. And it just takes all that away for 11 minutes. Like, if you can just zone into this bullshit, right? It's going to make you laugh and you're not thinking about none of that nonsense. That's reality of life. It draws you away from your problems temporarily. And little Macy, he's that stupid little white kid that he's famous right now. He's a little nerdy ass kid and he got braces and he don't even look like he washed his hair, and he's always saying that his step grandma grounded him. And but then when he starts every TikTok video, he says, "Did you start?" And then it's all over the shit now. Now everyone's trying to copy him, saying, "Did you start?" And fucking yeah, it's whatever. He's a little clown. He reminds me of Mike 525.
It reminds me, Doug, that what that reminds me of if you look at like any home. I don't know if you guys had like a shoulder video camera back in the day.
Yeah.
But I remember, Doug, like if you were recording something like purposely and it wasn't just like if you had like an
what do you
agenda.
mean a shoulder one? How old was the fucking camcorder, bro? Like, haven't they been at least palm for the last 25 years? What do you mean shoulder one?
Yeah, no, Doug, I remember in like 96, maybe we had one of those shoulder ones.
Did 2 people carry it or what?
Yeah, we had 2 of my family members that would carry it. But no, think about those, or even like the early handheld ones.
Yes.
They had a delay. So that did you record was, Doug, if you look at any of my home movies and it's something like we're gonna record, like I'm telling my sister, hey, talk about this or whatever, you do it, and it's like, did you record or are you recording? Because at the beginning of every video, because there was that couple of second delay. And it's so funny that people are kind of bringing that back nowadays, where you hit it and it's instant, you know?
Oh, he's just a little corny white kid though. Because what's funny about it is that stupid ass song that he was playing. That's what it's called. Is "Did You Start?" And then he says words like "gooder" and like he's a corny. My step grandma did this and she grounded me. He's a little corny white kid, but that's his thing. Is "Did you start?"
Doug, what do you think about Kanye West getting dropped from everything? Basically, I guess people are trying to quote unquote cancel him. So when it comes to Kanye West, do you think he's quote unquote cancelable at how big he is? About how, I mean, I don't know if you can really quote unquote cancel that dude.
Well, I mean, companies just did, right? So if he doesn't take, I think if he's smart with the money he's got, he could get his own menu. I know that's how Fat Farm did it. If you watch what Russell Simmons said, I mean, that's how he started. And you get partners, you know what I'm saying, that aren't in the limelight. Like he can go get manufacturers in Japan or Korea or wherever they manufacture shit. Now, if he's smart, I mean, he's uncancelable as long as he keeps making good designs. The people will buy it. I mean, I think I don't know how sustainable his rants are. I mean, if they were to get him out of those contracts, because if you think about it, like, I don't know, bro, it's tough because we're just taking what we see and we're forming opinions, right? And really, I could vouch for both opinions. Some people are saying that he just doesn't know what he's doing and he's off his rocker and fucking, he just can't control himself and he's making a fool out of himself and he's losing all his business partners. Some people are saying it's strategic. They're saying that if he is doing all this stuff intentionally, it's a way to get out all of those contracts and not have to buy out like the NBA or the NFL and to buy your way out of those contracts. Those people dropped him. So he's relieved of all those contracts now with nothing, no penny coming out of his pocket. So if he is that good of a designer and he's worked with all these different companies, what's to say he can't just develop his own shit once he's been in the industry and he sees how thing works? You know what I'm saying?
What I'm thinking, Doug, is that all these people that are selling their Yeezys and shit,
They're markup though. It's markup.
they're selling them for more.
Yeah, the fucking yeah.
I thought people were selling them to try to get rid of them because they didn't want anything to do with Kanye.
I mean, let's look at the. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. I'll Google it while we're fucking talking.
Yeah, I don't know. You could be right. I'm not sure because I was gonna say, dog, if you could afford to buy discounted Yeezys, then why not freaking start collecting those bad boys? And then, dog, in a year or two, when this passes, and now they're vintage because he is working with the company in Japan or whatever, and you got those vintage Yeezys, dog, those are going to be worth so much more because people forget. People forget. Think about Chris Brown.
Think about Britney Spears.
Think
Remember
about
her meltdown.
Doug, think about any of this when it first happened. Right, the worst person, the weirdest person, the whatever. Time passes, people forget.
Pee Wee Herman got caught jerking off in a movie theater,
and then he brought. I mean, he was Paul Rubens for a while. Brought back Pee Wee Herman. People love him, right?
Think about Michael Jackson, bro. Let's not forget what Michael Jackson got accused of twice.
All of these scenarios that we're saying, time goes on and people forget. Chris Brown drops a dope song. All of a sudden, people don't care really that he beat Rihanna. You know,
he didn't just beat her. He beat the shit out of that woman. I mean, he messed her up bad. Look at Tory Lanez, bro.
Yeah.
People still fucking with Tory Lanez. He shot Meg Thee Stallion in the foot.
And the thing is, dog, is that that's why I'm like, yeah. Even
OJ. OJ gets love. I see people on TikTok taking pictures with OJ all the time.
Yeah. Hello, Twitter world.
And I like the juice. I think I got his jersey autographed.
Dog, and you think about it now. Like Kanye, yeah, people are like, oh, we're dropping him. All of his sponsors are dropping him. All his agency is dropping him. But Doug, give him 3 years, right? People, Doug, it might sound like a long time. People might be thinking right now, 3 years. Oh, 3 years. Think about 3 years. Think about things you did 3 years ago, Doug. Probably feels like it was last week.
Well, and I forget. I got a question for our listeners and for the people out there. I really do. I'm going to state before I ask this question. I love everybody myself. I don't agree with some of the statements that he's made at all. I don't care what race. I love everybody, and so I'm not with that whatsoever. That's my own opinion because I like people and I like the human race, and To me, everyone's human, and that's that. I don't see anything past that. But with that being said, what is free speech anymore, right? Because if free speech is really free, he should be able to say whatever the fuck he wants without disciplinary action.
If you're going against the narrative, whatever it is, then you're not allowed to say it.
But
And like I said, whatever he's saying is terrible. However,
it is.
It's against the narrative. So now it's not the right thing. Regardless of whether it is the right or wrong thing, which it's obviously the wrong thing, you need to accept their opinions. However, they don't accept any of yours.
Well, and I think that's a good point, because you know what? Whatever people got to feel about Kanye is it's got to be clear across the board. Because you're right. You can't have one group of people saying you have to accept everything. And then, and again, I don't agree with the words that come out of his mouth, because anything, in my opinion, that promotes negativity.
He's not Chris Tucker.
I'm not. No, he's not. He's not Chris Tucker, and I'm not Jackie Chan. And the thing is that I don't promote negativity, because I don't try to live my life like that. And I personally feel that there's no way for you to ultimately be happy if you're always ranting about some negative ass shit, regardless of the topics. That's just not me. But with that being said, like, you're right. I mean, how do some people get to rant and rave about certain shit and some people don't? What is free speech? What's free speech anymore? And is it really free?
It's only free if it's with the narrative. Plain and simple. That's all it is. Because if you go against it in any way, whatever the mass.
But you know what, bro? You know what? I mean, I even hate to interrupt, but I got a question. You just said earlier that you were going to edit something out of the episode, because if you put it in there, it's going to affect viewer ratings and views.
Mm-hmm.
So why in the fuck is YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat allowing him to even air these? Where's it? Does that not violate their guidelines? Mr. Chapo Jenkins' fucking Instagram account got deleted for God knows why, but they're going to let this guy. I don't even know why, but he got deleted, bro. I don't even know what it was, but they're going to, and I can't, it's just, I don't have the energy to try to get it back. But the point is like, you deleted a dog's account, but you're going to let a human being rant and rave? Like, where are your guidelines, and why does this shit even reach the public?
There's a video that Covino and Rich had on their TikTok that it was one of those teenage dirtbag, I'm just a teenage dirtbag baby, right? And it show, but them as a show.
Are you singing to me, bro?
So it shows them now. They're in the studio, right? They recorded after a show. They were like, hey, whatever. And then it cuts to old pictures of the show. The video got deleted off their TikTok for violating community guidelines. The reasons it gives are ridiculous. I'll tell you after the show. But the reason that it has a mark on there, like, hey, this has been deleted because of this reason, or this isn't viewable because of this reason, it is ridiculous. And I don't know how this, AI or whatever is catching it or whatever, but things they're accusing people's videos of when it has nothing to do with that is ridiculous. But bringing it back full circle, they'll leave this dude on here saying all this stuff.
Well, I got a question, bro. He's on a good one right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think America knows he's been on a good one, whether you agree or you disagree with him. He every day, multiple hot ass takes. How come now? Call me crazy, but no account he has on any social media should ever be able to get posted without the fucking owner or the CEO or some editor approving it first. Like, they should flag his shit to forward anything he posts for further review. Like, it shouldn't even make it if they're that concerned about what he's saying, right? And it's the same with the people that are doing the interviews. Like, if any major Piers Morgan, that should have had to get reviewed upon. Like they said, didn't LeBron James and then pull the plug? They interviewed him. He said some fucked up shit. They chose not to air it. How come every outlet isn't taking that same approach?
Because it gets views.
Absolutely. So they're telling you it's so mean and nasty on one hand of what he's saying, Well, boy, they want you to tune into it when he does.
because of it helps their bottom dollar, right?
Of course.
It helps the revenue, it helps the views, it helps everything. So as much as they're saying, oh, TMZ, perfect example. This is terrible. Can you believe this? Boom. 5 million views. You don't think they're getting a cut of all these views of advertisers and this and that?
Of course.
It's just a bunch of
They're
bull.
playing. They're playing like what he's saying is they're playing everybody.
Can you
And-
believe this? This is terrible. Look at these statements. They're actually saying ching ching ching
Ching.
dollar sign dollar sign dollar sign.
And again, we promote love here. We don't promote hate. We're not taking a stance on any of that shit because we don't talk shit like that about people or whatnot. But he's free to do whatever he does. And whoever he prays to at night, that's between them when he gets there. That has nothing to do with me. And you're absolutely right, because although, like I said, we don't stand for hate or nothing like that. Boy, they say one thing, but then they do another. The media is fucked up, and you can't trust none of that shit, man. Watch out.
I feel you 100%, man. I just, but you know what? I want to
Don't fall for the
kinda,
okey doke. Don't fall for the okey doke. Don't get fucking hoodwinked and bamboozled.
I'm not going to. One thing I wanted to talk about was this week there was a really big heated discussion on Cavino and Rich about hobbies and community. Rich and Spot, and I actually told my sister because we were kind of listening at the same time on our
Okay.
lunch hour, and I was like, I wish I didn't agree with Cavino as much as I do, but I can't help it. That's just the way I feel. Because this
Well,
was
then
what happened.
why would you wish that you don't want to agree with them?
Because I feel like it sounds very biased when I'm giving my opinions.
Like Lynn?
So I feel like, exactly. I feel like if somebody's listening, they're thinking, oh no, Cavino's always right in his eyes. But it's just, I can't sit here and say I don't agree when I agree, because the argument was Rich was saying that he has this sense of community with his softball. And
That-
Spot was saying
but
that,
they all don't want to be at home around dinner time either and put the kids to bed.
and Spot was saying that he has this sense of community with yoga, of course. Cavino was saying, yeah, those are your guys' hobbies. My hobby is the show. I enjoy doing the show. I enjoy coming up with topics for the show. I enjoy like watching the Yankees. I enjoy like playing the guitar or whatever. And they were just on him. Oh
Well,
no,
playing the guitar is similar to those hobbies.
no,
For sure.
no, not in their eyes,
What do you mean?
because
Why not?
it's not, there's not a community. They were saying that he needs to be around more people and this and this. And Cavino was saying, he's like, I
A
have
hobby's
friends.
a hobby, bro, whether it's
And-
social or not.
Well, and Cavino was saying, I have friends and family that I love. I feel just as fulfilled by talking to them, by whatever. And then they jumped in, Spot and Rich, with your family lives in Jersey. You're like, that doesn't mean he doesn't talk to them maybe on a daily basis or even text them. They have that family Cavino chat. Why does he physically need to?
He does.
And Cavino was saying, somebody in the chat was saying, I think it was Jeff. No, it wasn't
the
Jeff.
jerk man?
No, I don't think it was. It was somebody. But they were like, why don't you join a kickball league? And Cavino goes, I'm 46 years old. What the hell am I going to be doing in a kickball league? I am not 46. I am not even 36. I don't even understand, dog, how people have time for that. I don't understand, dog. I don't understand how people would have time. And if you can make time for it, and this is the thing, is that if you can make time for it and you dig it, more power to you. However, this again goes with the last conversation we had. If we say, hey, what you're doing, Rich, doing your softball, and you enjoy it and it gives you some mental clarity or whatever, cool. Spot, you dig yoga, right? Very cool. You have your community, you have your people, whatever. Why is it if I say I enjoy playing the guitar or coming up with subjects or topics for the show. Why, if I say that's something I enjoy doing, is it not enough?
It is enough. Because shout out to Lenny Lynn, he was a producer when I put out that album back in the day. And Lenny Lynn will tell you that even spots yoga. Lenny Lynn lives in Morro Bay and he takes his guitar for like an hour or two at a time and just walk by Morro Rock and look at the water and just jam out on his guitar. And that's the best therapy and relaxation and mind clarity you can get in his eyes.
Mhm.
So if it's about clarity, I mean, I think they're just talking shit because he's not around other people.
That's
And
what it was. That was
but,
the entire argument.
but the thing is, though, bro, is like I don't necessarily want to be around other people all the time, too. I don't want to be around a bunch of fucking strangers. Like, I mean, if we had a group of people, like when we were in a bowling league, cool. But I don't need to bowl so bad. I'm gonna go bowl with fucking strangers and make friends.
Mm-hmm.
Are you? I'm just not that social butterfly that Rich is. And I think sometimes those social butterflies forget that it's hard for people that aren't like that to do those things. And they don't, it's not only hard, they don't necessarily desire that. Some of us are like lone wolves. You know, we move in silence. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't operate like that.
If Rich enjoys his stuff, cool. If Spot enjoys yoga and all this new stuff that he's into, cool. But why
Nothing
is
wrong with that.
But why is what I'm into not enough? It's not enough.
Well, Spot's into some other stuff I'm not into too, and he's okay with that.
But it's kind of like,
I mean, if I ain't got to be into that, how come I got to be into yoga?
why is it not enough? Why is it not? And I just don't understand why they say they're so like. Rich even said if he wouldn't have found softball and he wouldn't have found this community, he would have moved because I guess he wouldn't have had friends or some shit. I'm like, for real? You're that caught up in
fucking drama, bro. I'm gonna move.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm over here like
by Woodland Hills.
So and that's something where
no softball, no Rich Davis. Some people fucking square dance. I mean, if you want to square dance, go fucking square dance. I don't know. Some people go to the casino by themselves. Lots of people do different shit, bro.
I haven't done that in probably a couple of years, but
I've done it. I've done it.
And Doug, at the when the last time I did it, I was like, I need to do this shit more often. This is dope. And then I just never have again. But
bro, I used to go to Applebee's once in a while. Like, when I would travel and shit, bro, sometimes I was solo and fuck it, dude. I'm going to the bar. I'm posting up before you know it. I'm bullshitting with the bartender. Fucking, whoever else is right there. But sometimes you don't want that, bro. I ain't did that in a year.
Yeah.
I'm not walking into Jasper's by myself right now, bro. Like, I'm chilling right now. I'm not gonna go to the bar by myself right now. Like, if Miguelito called me or Alex or someone, they want to go kick it, that's different.
Yeah. And it's just the thing is that if you go by yourself, you go with Miguel and Sammy and whatever, cool. But why would somebody care how you went to the bar? Why are you so concerned with what other people are doing,
Right. I mean, if you want me to get out that much, Dick, why don't you fucking come up with something for us to go kick it and do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why don't you two fuckers say, hey, let's go fucking shoot hoops or some shit, right?
Or not even. Why don't you? Or not even, because I know Covino's argument would be, well, I don't want to do that because that was his thing, is that he don't want to play softball because he's done that. So, okay, cool. Let's keep that argument. Why don't they come by his house and, while he's playing guitar, Rich could play the bongos, or
they can make tickle sack jams.
Or not. Yeah. But say that not even tickle sack. Say just, why don't they come by the house and play guitar with Covino? Because they have different interests. So why are Rich and Spot's interests cool, but Covino's aren't good enough?
Because they're different from Covino's.
I don't get that. I don't get why it's okay for Rich to say like, oh, if I wouldn't have had a community of softball players, I would have moved. But Covino saying that I'd rather sit home and
but why does he even have to have an explanation? Like, if I don't want to be in your softball team, just leave me the fuck alone, bro. I said no.
I just don't get it. I don't get why. I don't get it.
And no's not good enough. Now you got to put me on blast on the radio show.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just
Because
uh
Rich, they feel like sometimes that people need to join in, and I think sometimes they struggle that Cavino is alone, can be a lone wolf at times. Not all the time, but I'm a lone wolf at times too, bro. There's sometimes I like to just chill with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, bro. I like to just chill with me and kick it, and I don't want to deal with other people's shit.
mm, no, I feel you. I feel you 100%. And you know what? And I don't know. I just think about it, dog. Like, what's wrong with being alone sometimes?
What about the cell phone plan, the family cell phone plan?
What about it?
Is it just you and your lady? Do you got your own plan? Did you hear Rich talking about he put Marianne on his
I
plan? That
heard a little bit about that. Me and my girl are on separate plans.
why?
I want to say she didn't want to leave Sprint forever.
But Sprint left Sprint.
I was like,
There
do
ain't even a
they?
Sprint no more, bro. Yeah, they got absorbed by T-Mobile. There ain't no Sprint. Sprint
Oh,
left
for real?
Sprint.
Exactly. That's how shitty it was, dog.
Yeah, Sprint left Sprint, bro. Hey, Sprint was my first speaking of Sprint, that was my first ever cell phone. Like I had them in like 95. And
Mm,
I remember it was 1,500 minutes for $75, free incoming calls.
incoming. That's the way to do it.
And free incoming calls.
Free
And
incoming.
yeah, then I would just call you and hang up and you call me back and then the call be free.
Hey, did you call me? Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I did. Well, why'd
Yeah,
you
I
hang
did.
up? Motherfuckers are free when you call me. So
Yeah.
next time, don't ask.
I only have 1,500 of the times I can call you.
Yeah, and it
Uh,
ain't no weekends or after 7.
Dog, I never even thought about that. Sprint did go away, huh?
They're gone. Sprint, yeah, they're done, dude.
That's crazy. Well, for the longest time, I think that's why my girl didn't want to leave Sprint, and I was like, "Well, Verizon's the only way to go for me. I
It
ain't never
is.
going. I'm not never going that way. I might wake up one day and want Sprint, but for the last 34 years, I've been waking up and wanting Verizon. You know,
Bro, it won't take you, dude. I've switched from Verizon probably 4 times in the past 10 years, never for longer than 5 or 6 weeks.
same.
Bro, I jumped to Cricket. I tried Cricket out. I went to AT&T twice. Recently, in like the last 8 months or 9 months, um, T-Mobile had a deal where you could add them to your iPhone as like a second line for 30 days unlimited with no credit card given up front or nothing. Like you could just try out the service. I tried that shit out, and there was a setting in there where you could go and turn off your main service and only use the T-Mobile service. I tried that. Nah, man, it ain't the same.
Yeah, I don't know, dog. I'm still shocked that Sprint doesn't exist, dog.
Yeah, no,
In my
T-Mobile bought
mind,
them.
that's crazy.
And
And
that's
we
that's why I tried that T-Mobile thing because T-Mobile was already like third and Sprint was fourth, and then so you figure when they combine, you know what I mean, that they might be able to be as good as AT&T. And I think it's still clear cut. Verizon's number one, a close second's AT&T, and I think a regular third is T-Mobile. AT&T was AT&T, then it was
they got
Singular.
Lily.
They got Lily.
They do got Lily.
They do. They got Steph Curry. No, they got Charles Barkley. Everyone's the same price.
Yeah.
One I forgot, bro. There's so many fucking athletes on so many commercials nowadays.
And they have AT&T also has LeBron, don't they?
Yeah, only commercial I got is Jeff Jerky. That's my only sponsor, bro.
Fuck them. They haven't sent me shit. They can lick
I
my
know.
balls.
Come on, man. I know. And I buy. Hey, they did send me a fatty pack. They really did. But then I already made 2 re-ups after that.
They were talking about the psychology of your team losing and what it does to you mentally as a fan.
Oh, bro, I'm a Raider fan.
Dog, you're telling me I'm in your boat now, dog. I'm a Lakers fan. By the time this airs, we're probably 0-6. If you want me
Okay,
to be
well,
real.
so then I got hey, be real of Cypress Hill. I got the question for you, be real.
All
By the
right.
time this airs, will Russell Westbrook still be a Laker?
I think so.
Think so?
I
He'd be
think so.
gone.
Dog, I was so
He's
pissed the other
gone,
day.
bro. He's gone.
I had a 3-leg parlay. It was like the Lakers need to lose by like 11 or less.
You're betting on the Lakers in this horrible fucking slump?
Yeah, dog, because this is listen to my fucking bets. The Lakers needed to lose by 11 or less or win, right? It was like plus 11 and a half or some shit. Anthony Davis needed to score 21 and a half points or some shit. That game he scored 22. So
Okay.
I had the plus 11 and a half. I had Anthony Davis plus let me see 22 21 and a half or whatever, and then LeBron 27 and a half.
And LeBron didn't get it.
Guess who killed my parlay? Yeah.
The fake king,
LeBron got 19 that game.
the fake goat.
I was like, oh man.
Bro, you know what? I saw a meme, and I'm gonna put this goat shit to bed, bro. I saw a meme on TikTok, and it said in LeBron's era, the greatest team was the Warriors, and in Kobe's era, it was the Lakers, and in Mike's era, it was the Bulls. But LeBron's teams weren't even the greatest team in his era. But yeah, he wants to call himself with Jordan. And not only that, the people that Jordan beat, those were the top, those are the dream team. Michael Jordan beat players that played on the greatest basketball team ever made. John Stockton, Karl Malone, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. I mean, those were some of the best players ever, and he was the best over them.
Well, think about it, dog. When LeBron was winning in the East, they had the weakest conference of all time.
Because they always got blown out by the West.
It was always weak. It was always weak. So to be the best of the weakest, you're still the weakest. You're the best weakest.
Well, even when he started winning, think about it. The Spurs run was over. Dallas was good with Dirk, but they weren't great. They were good. They were really good. They just weren't great.
Dog, think about the Spurs team for a while. Man, they had such a great team.
They did.
And I just think of like Ginobili, Parker, Duncan. You think of like, I'm like, dog, they had, as a Lakers fan, they had a great team.
They were solid.
And I think, and the thing is, Doug, is that they were, I wouldn't say they were a dynasty, but
they were a dynasty.
You would, yeah, okay, whatever. But they had such, man, it was such a great team.
They won 5 championships during that time.
Oh, did it? Was it 5? I was thinking it was like 3. All right, my bad.
No, I believe it. I'm going to Google it right now.
It probably was 5. But I mean, that was such, and I was a fan of a lot of those players where I was like, damn, man, like,
bro, they won in 99, 2003, 2005, 2007, and 2014. So if you take 2014 out of it, dude, they won every, so
what, 99, you said?
99, 03, 05, 07. So in 8 years, they won 4 championships. That's exactly the same as what the Warriors just did. Warriors just did.
Exactly. 4 championships. I would say it's a dynasty.
I would say the Warriors.
I would think so too.
And even the Warriors, I would say you can argue they're not a dynasty, but they're a Klay Thompson injury away from another title.
I don't know. 4 championships in 8 years, dog. I think there's a strong argument to be made.
Well, look at how they did it, because the first one they weren't supposed to win, and the one last year they weren't supposed to win. The only ones that were supposed to win that was a guarantee is when they had Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they won it as a young team. Without KD, they won as a veteran team after everyone thought they were going to fall apart when KD left. And then they got the ones with KD that they're supposed to win.
Man, no, definitely. And I just like you said, going back to the original point, LeBron's team, no matter what team it was, and he tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried.
There's a loud ass noise outside.
Dog, if you got shot on this podcast, I would still have to put it out. All right, everybody, that's the after show, but later, episode number 152. Make sure you hit us up on all social media at AfterShowBL. Go buy some merch. You know what? I need to put some effort into that shit. Make sure you share the show with people. We just hit 900 followers on Facebook. 9 million followers are on TikTok. Actually, you mentioned the Snarls. I don't know about them, but I know a few of the people that are following our page are some very important people. Steve Covino, Rich Davis, Sean Wyman, all followers of the After Show But Later. So it's nice to see that support from people that matter. And by people that matter, I mean all of you. Everybody that supports the show, we dig it. We love all the
96 other people, or what?
Yeah, 97.
All right.
That would make 900.
And the Snarls, real quick before we go, they're more like a gang, huh? Those fuckers are mean, bro. I don't want to get caught in the alley with no Snarls.
I wouldn't want to be. I mean, next thing you know, you're gonna get chased by one of them. They're gonna be throwing nair on you, like
fucking
the real
Ian Kennedy, fucking throwing fucking nair at me.
The real bad people, like Rich talked about, they'll be throwing nair at you. So after show but later, make sure you share the show with at least one person. You share the show with one person, all 900 of you. We have 1,800 listeners right there, like that. After show but later, catch us in episode number 153. Again, if you ever want to be on the show, you know how to just hit us up, 928-235-5285. Just shoot us a text and we'll set this up so you could be here.
Shout out to everybody that supports us. We really, really, really appreciate you. Shout out to all the I'm not going to go through the list. You guys know who you are. There's some important people in the show that really, have our backs, and we appreciate you all. That's it, man. It's a wrap.
I think we can only end this one way, and I'm thinking bring in Baseline Trey.
Yeah, bro. Was that your inner Chris Berman?
I don't know
like
who
Chris
that is.
Berman right there. Oh, you don't know Chris Berman?
I know Steve Berman from Eminem.
Back. Gone. Home run, Chris Berman, bro. Sports Center, Boomer.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right.
Good.
Baseline
After
Trey?
show later. Baseline Trey.
On the road to the riches, cause it's all about the paper. Now buckle up your seats and prepare for the journey. Let the music ease your soul, grab a spliff and start burning. Relax with us and take a trip to the heavens. And come and spend a day in the 757.